Welcome viewers to an exciting video segment of the real SAP PLM Pro Battle of the Experts. I'm your host Yash Agrawal, and today we have our experts who will be testing their knowledge on SAP Product Lifecycle Management. SAP PLM is a powerful software solution that helps businesses manage their product development and manufacturing processes. Let's meet our contestants. We have Carsten, Dietze-Selent, Head of Product Engineering, SAP PLM. Joining him is Ismail, Serin, Head of Product Management, SAP PLM. We have Gerhard, Himmelsbach, Product Manager, SAP PLM. We also have Niesel, Senior Project Manager, SAP PLM. Welcome everyone. Let's dive into the rules for the game. We'll have some questions for each of you. Draw the answer of the option that you want to pick on your smartphones using the Notes app, and then you will reveal the answers together, from which I'll pick one of you to kindly elaborate on the topic that will be on the question. So let's get into it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Great. Here's the first question. Identify the phase in the product lifecycle where the product is just a concept in person's head. Is it A, imagination, B, definition, C, realization, or D, support or use? Please use your smartphones to mark your answers. So if you're ready, please reveal your answers. Okay, yes. So the answer is imagination. So Ismail, when it comes to the idea for a product, or as a product designer, how can I use a software like SAP PLM when I already know these ideas are going to come from so many sources or out of so many types?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Yash. So our overall ambition with our PLM suite is to provide an integrated idea to market business process. And the idea represents the early stage of a product. Right? It can be a new product improvement idea. It can also be coming from a change report you have, right? But that idea captures basically the nature of imagination. And our goal is to tightly integrate the idea with requirements so that we can always track, when we have a detailed requirement model, where an idea is coming from. And combining basically this to an idea to requirement process, right, is instrumental to basically give everybody in the product lifecycle a voice. And we call that voice of customer, for example, right? And this is basically how we do it in our PLM suite.
But when it comes to the different types of idea, what features do we have in SAP PLM that can help us basically categorize it? How do we call it in terms of SAP PLM?
Yeah, so we have a product innovation management capability in our portfolio, which enables, for example, product managers or innovation managers to create innovation campaigns. And these innovation campaigns then can be shared either internally in the organization, but they can also be shared with their customers to collect improvement ideas. And as the ideas can be very diverse, we're also investing in the AI enablement of this space, so that we let the AI automatically identify and segment the ideas we're getting in, and use then also natural language processing to further refine the ideas and create more detailed and high quality requirement models based on an AI enablement we are currently planning.
What exciting times we live in.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ismail. Let's go to our next question. Design collaboration with suppliers in cloud can be done with which of these? Is it A, C folders, B, enterprise product development collaboration, C, cloud folders, or D, design folder records? Please key in your answers using your smartphones and reveal. So yes, you got it right. The answer is enterprise product development collaboration. So Carsten, when it comes to the suppliers, we already know that SAP Ariba has a hold on it, on the entire supplier network. What are the possibilities that SAP Ariba has in conjunction to SAP EPD?
Yeah, thank you, Yash. Let me start a little bit earlier with a question. So collaboration is an essential business process for product development. Yeah, you collaborate with suppliers, with business partners. You collaborate internally in teams, with documents, with product data, product structures, visual models, and you drive decisions through workflows. And this is basically everything that we support, and of course more in enterprise product development collaboration. Now imagine a sourcing process with a supplier about a new product, a new part. Then typically you not only have to exchange commercial information or office documents, you also have to exchange technical documents, you might have to exchange product data, you might have to exchange visual models, and all embedded in a workflow to drive decisions, to discuss whether the supplier can make the right offer. And the integration between Ariba and collaboration enables suppliers a seamless access through Ariba coming to the collaboration platform and basically gets the data which they need, collaborate on them, and basically provides the best possible offer to their future customers.
So interesting that you talk about integration, because in the world of software, we are all hearing that integration is going to be the king and is already king when it comes to bringing all the pieces together. Ismail, when you talk to our customers and stakeholders, what do you think, like in terms of integration, what's the new hype that's going around?
Integration is difficult and tough business. And I think I made one example in a previous video where imagine we have a puzzle set, right? And each piece of a puzzle set can feel like coming from a different puzzle set, right? This is basically when we look into integrations. Why is that? Because customers run different systems to solve different type of business problems, right? You have maybe one system to do your engineering, you have another system to do your software development, and you have another system for other type of processes you run to when you want to engineer something. But how do you make sure you bring everything together from a very heterogeneous landscape, right? And that is basically the key problem we want to address, because if we find a way to be that integration platform, we can enable our customers to shorten the time to market. Because if you fail to integrate these different pieces, the R&D costs will explode, and the products you're introducing to the market will be too late, and your competition may be too fast.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that insight. Thanks, Ismail. Thanks, Carsten. Let's move on to our next question. Which function helps you to develop information about the production processes of a product, as well as the input and the output substances and the packaging used in the process? Is it A, substance development? Is it B, recipe development? C, input-output development? Or D, ingredients development? Lock in your answers using your smartphones now. Please reveal your answers. Yes, you got it right. It is recipe development. So Ismail, can you give us an example of a process industry product on how PLM helped develop that product?
Yeah, let's take chocolate, right? Chocolate, I mean, we all love it, right? If you basically look into the business process on how to manufacture and sell chocolate, it again starts with the idea, right? Idea for a certain chocolate flavor, maybe, right? Maybe some people want to have a chili chocolate, right? Or whatever type of different ideas, right? And it is very important to capture these different ideas and evaluate and predict the success rate of a new idea, right? Based on these informations, what usually happens is that marketing teams, product managers create a very detailed product brief, right? So for which market is this product relevant, right? What are maybe even compliance and regulation for the specific target markets, right? We all need to define them early on in the requirements management. And then recipe developers will, on the one hand side, look what type of raw material specifications are already available in the system and start to create a new draft recipe. And that draft recipe is then basically used to run some tests, right? So you have real cooks sitting there, right, and looking at the recipes, cooking the recipes, right, manufacturing recipes, and then they run some tests. And then these tests are documented. And then at the end of the day, you will always have a winning recipe. And that winning recipe often needs to be scaled up, because you don't only want to create one piece, but you want to maybe create millions of pieces and manufacture that across different plants across the world, right? So how do you make sure you safely transfer recipes to maybe your internal manufacturing sites, but often we see also contract manufacturers, right? So you also need to hand over and collaborate on production instructions, specifications, recipes, so that third parties can manufacture. And once you have manufactured it, you need to introduce it to the market. And once in the market, you want to basically analyze the success. What are customers thinking, right? Are they buying it again, right? And all of these different business process steps require us to have an integration on all of the different business objects. And that's what we call the digital thread for process industries, right? And we also looking into, like I said, the specifications and formulations, but it also includes informations like the packaging, right? Or the production instructions, because you need to provide a single source of truth for all of the different entities, right, in the process to ensure that the product you're developing hits the market at the right time and at the right price.
Really interesting, because when we see PLM in general, there is this perception that it's only for the manufacturing industry, or it is very discrete heavy. But as you mentioned, with the recipe and the regulations that come with the region, these variants that need to be configured and the compliance that basically kicks in with the geopolitics in the region, or geofencing, whatever these regulations come with the regional specifications. It's really interesting to see how PLM can provide that single source of truth, so even the base recipe is same and you can vary according to the region to region. Thank you, Ismail. Let's move on to the next question. What does the acronym CAD stands for? Is it centralized added design? Is it complex automotive design? Or computer aided manufacturing? Or computer aided design? Please lock in your answers. Reveal your answers, please. Yes, you got it right. It's computer aided design. So Gerhard, can you help us understand about how CAD models can assist products in the process industry?
Sure. Interesting question. But every product, no matter if it's a discrete product or something which comes from the process industry, like a pharmaceutical or food or beverages, they need to be packaged. And when we have to put them in a package, it gets discrete, a bottle or a box or whatever. And those boxes and bottles need to be designed. So, and what is better than a 3D CAD system than to design the shape of a bottle? And therefore, we have to bring together that discrete part of that development process plus the ingredient which goes into that package. And that is where CAD design and the process industry comes together. And I guess there is a huge market for that, because I don't know any product I go into the shop which is not in a package. I have never bought flour with my hands, so it's usually in a package, in a bottle, whatever, in a package. And therefore, there is definitely every process industry product at the end needs to be packaged.
Thanks for sharing that insight on how CAD models are also bringing revolution into the process industry, because you're right, packaging is king. When I go to the shopping center, the best packaged product is what attracts me to buy it. So let's move on to the next question. What does the acronym DIR stand for? Is it Document Info Record, or Design in Record, or Digital Info Record, or Document in Record? Key in your answers on your smartphones and reveal. Yes, you all got it right. It is Document Info Record. So Carsten, for companies that may have so many of their documents already in the SAP ERP systems, but of course bringing all of them into the cloud is not really practical. Yet, what are the possibilities with SAP EPD to bring the required ones onto the cloud to be able to collaborate with suppliers?
Yeah, thanks Yash. So let's start maybe a little bit with an explanation what a document info record does in SAP. On the one side, it's basically the header for documents, for information to documents. So that means with the document info record, you classify a document, but you also can assign the document to business objects. So that means it's basically the foundation to consume documents in business processes. And now, of course, not every document is relevant in collaboration processes. Many are, but not everything. So that means you need an integration, and you need to figure out which documents do you want to move from S4 into the cloud, and together with which metadata. And this can be done out of the box through an integration between SAP S4 document management system and enterprise product development collaboration. So a user can move the documents, can search related to my business object, and can move them from the document info record or from a related program into the cloud, into the collaboration, Basically the business partner picks up the documents, works on them, gets feedback, provides feedback. You can have a release process. And in the end, when everything is done, you can take them back. So that means from the S4 system, you select basically the documents which you want to get back and update your document info record. And this is a highly integrated process which is used by many customers.
Thank you, Carsten, for sharing that insight on how, based on the business requirement, these different integration pieces can be tailor-made or customized according to the business process and the workflow. Let's move on to the next question then. What does the acronym D2O stand for? Is it document to output, or design to operate, or design to output, or document to operate? Lock in your answers and reveal. Yes, you got it right. It is design to operate. So Sarah, how would you explain D2O to a high schooler? And operate seems to be a more of a manufacturing term. So what parallels are there for D2O for the process industry?
Very good questions, Yash. Thank you so much for asking me this. So I've been part of the D2O project for a couple of years, in the last couple of years. I'm specifically responsible for our design area. So the D2O stands for Design to Operate. And this is SAP, what we have defined as our end-to-end process on how to get a single product manufactured across the end-to-end line, right? So it all starts in design, and design is definitely a catalyst for the entire end-to-end process, because without any design data, how are you going to go into the planning, the logistics, the manufacturing, even operating a specific product and whatnot. So yeah, design is definitely a really key part to the process. And in the design phase, we also have 4 mini phases in there, which is to define, develop, deliver, and manage different products. So SAP PLM has a variety of capabilities that helps our different customers in a variety of industries to get their products out there to the market, whether it's B2B or B2C. So I was really happy to be part of it. Our counterpart for the process industries would be formulate to consume or farm to consume, whatever we want to call it. And it's basically the same idea. Instead of designing and engineering, you're formulating products and creating recipes and putting down the ingredients list together to develop whatever, a shampoo, flour, as Gerhard mentioned. What else can be there? Process industries, drinks, pharmaceuticals, exactly. So that's the parallel to it for the process industry side. Yes.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for explaining that. I do have a follow-up. So Ismail, maybe you can help us shed some light on this. Apart from like real physical products and products like in the process industry which require formulation, we also have products and services like software or services. Can PLM help in these areas?
At the end of the day, when you look at modern day products, they are mechatronical systems. So you have always the CAD world, right? But you have also software and other engineering disciplines coming together. And our main design intent of our PLM suite is to be the integration platform for all of these different dimensions. Because only if you bring them together and manage them in a single source of truth, only then you will be able to deliver innovative and sustainable products. So software plays a very big role in the future, and we see it across industries, right? We see it in industrial manufacturing, that industrial machines are getting more and more software. We see it in automotive OEMs. We see the cars we're driving today, right? Software is king, right? And we also see that in consumer products industries, right? So the coffee machines we're using are often connected to the internet. Our dishwasher, right? And all of these products are getting basically software-based, right? Because software is the way to differentiate against competitors, right? And more OEMs are jumping into that trend.
Thank you, Ismail, for sharing that insight. Now, before we wrap up, Sarah, if some of our viewers would want to learn more about SAP PLM, how can they do that?
So there are several ways that you guys can get to know more about SAP PLM. So first of all, we have an open SAP course, which is a free learning course that goes over, I want to say, 5 to 6 weeks, and it takes you through the end-to-end design scenario, whether it is for process or for discrete industries. You get to learn through that our different capabilities that are available, and also get a deep dive into the technicals on how to set up the software for your company. If you want to get to know a little bit more of what's ongoing on a regular basis, I highly recommend that you check out our different SAP communities that are available on SAP Community. And specifically for PLM, if you really want to get the latest updates, I highly recommend that you check out our social media. So we have a group on LinkedIn called SAP PLM Experts Forum, which is a really great forum for all of our different experts across our ecosystem to, first of all, network, and also to share latest and the greatest information about our different capabilities out there, whether it is built by SAP or from one of our SAP partners. Yes.
Thank you, Sarah, for enlightening our users, viewers, and inviting them to join our community. And that concludes our exciting game. Hope you enjoyed watching our experts battle it out and showcase their knowledge in this fascinating field of PLM. It's truly remarkable how SAP PLM has revolutionized the way businesses manage their products, and today our experts demonstrated their expertise and knowledge in this field through our video segment. Do share your thoughts using the comments, and like and share and subscribe for more such content. Hope you enjoyed learning about SAP PLM. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.